Hello there, geeks and gamers. I'm MarcTheCyborg, and I'm here to talk to you about some of the sexy new release games coming out in November 2020. Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed is venturing into Viking territory just in time for the launch of the new consoles. In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you can select between playing as either a male or a female Viking with the option to swap back and forth between the two at random as you invade Great Britain to pillage and conquer. Or just conquer but not pillage? I don't know. Ubisoft is doing this weird thing where they're trying to make a Viking invasion look benevolent. I'm not really buying it. If you loved Origins and Odyssey, you'll likely find more of what you love here, but the initial impressions I've been seeing are indicating that the stealth AI is super broken. I've been pretty tapped out on the Assassin's Creed series since Unity, so personally I'm skipping this one, but if you want a historical, open-world action RPG about Vikings, Assassin's Creed Valhalla might be worth checking out on November 10th for Xbox One and the Xbox Series line, PS4, EGS, and UPLAY, and then a couple days later on PS5. This incredible looking shooter was the most impressive thing that was shown at the first Xbox Series X gameplay event. What a lot of people didn't realize is that Bright Memory is an indie game made by one super talented guy in China. China's indie game scene is causing a bit of a stir lately, with this game, along with the extremely impressive Black Myth Wukong trailer, proving that games are getting harder and more expensive to develop, so prices need to go up. Argument is a bit of a load of shit. Bright Memory has been in early access on PC for quite some time, and it is honestly quite a bit of fun. It's a first-person shooter with some advanced movement mechanics, superpowers, and a Devil May Cry style scoring system where you take on mercenaries and monsters from Chinese mythology. Also worth noting, you play as a sexy waifu named Sheila. It doesn't change the gameplay in any notable way, but it's my video, so I'm taking the time to point that out.
You gotta deal with it!
You can play Bright Memory right now on GOG or Steam, and on November 10th it'll come out of early access, turning into Bright Memory Infinite, and you can also play it on the new Xboxes.
Growing up, all I ever wanted was to be a hero, just like the ones in my favorite video games.
Ichiban.
Why not become a hero at 40, right?
Cheers! The Dragon Slayer!
Turns out, all a hero needs is a quest. I finally found mine, and I'm going to play it my way.
The Yakuza series snuck up on me as being one of the most awesome things which exist, and an important aspect of my life for a very subjective reason. I got Yakuza 0 on a Steam sale in the spring of 2019, and in an effort to explain to my buddy Fonz why it's an incredible game that he probably wouldn't like, I tried my hand at making a video on it. One thing led to another, and now I'm here. Hi, I'm MarcTheCyborg, and I make videos for Geeks and Gamers. Back to the topic at hand, I think the Yakuza series is incredible, and Like a Dragon might end up being the perfect entry point for new players, as it features a brand new protagonist. But buckle up, because the structure and tone of this series is definitely not for everybody. This isn't GTA in Japan. The series can better be described as a beat-em-up JRPG which takes place on a very small, densely packed open-world map. Melodramatic stories loaded with drama, humor, and personality fill each game, and Like a Dragon appears to be no exception in that regard. Where Like a Dragon does depart from the other games in the series is that instead of being a beat-em-up, it's a more traditional turn-based JRPG, letting you control a whole party of characters rather than just one. Even as a fan of the series, I'm not sure if this will work out, but I suppose we'll find out soon because on November 10th, Yakuza Like a Dragon is launching in North America on the Xboxes and Steam.
Go, go, go!
Whoa! Let's not shoot each other, all right?
Insomniac's PlayStation 4 Spider-Man game was one of the best adaptations of the character I've ever seen, arguably equaling Raimi's Spider-Man 2. This spin-off puts you in the shoes of the second Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and gives you a host of new skills and abilities. Miles has spiked in popularity after the very solid Into the Spider-Verse film, so it's pretty cool to see the character getting his own game. The game is coming out for PS4 and PS5, and from a visual standpoint, the PS5 version will be adding ray-traced reflections and a 60 FPS performance mode, and both versions will feature a snowy New York City. The $70 Ultimate Edition also comes with a remaster of the original game that you cannot buy separately, which personally I find kinda scummy. And that's a shame because Insomniac has been doing a great job with Spider-Man up until now, so adding anti-consumer business practices into the mix gives a sour taste to an otherwise good thing. They also made the weird decision to change the face model for Peter Parker from the mature and world-weary looking John Bubniak to fresh-faced pretty boy Ben Jordan, who seems to me like an actor that the CW might cast if they were making a Spider-Man show. Odd choices surrounding the remaster aside, if you're looking for a decent launch title to play on PS5 and aren't up for the brutal challenge of Demon's Souls, Spider-Man Miles Morales will probably be a pretty safe bet. Demon's Souls might be a remake of a PS3 game, but it is also, by a wide margin, the killer app of this next-gen console launch cycle. The game, which kicked off an entire genre, has been stuck on PS3 for nearly a decade, locked at mostly 30 FPS with disabled online play for the last several years. Bluepoint Games are handling the Demon's Souls remake, and if their work on the Metal Gear Solid HD collection or Shadow of the Colossus on PS4 are any indication, Demon's Souls is in very good hands. They even added the one feature I wanted, the ability to play the game at 60 FPS, which along with the ability to play Ghost of Tsushima at a decent frame rate, is one of the only reasons I'm even considering getting a PS5. I am a bit of a frame rate whore in general, but for From Software games, it makes a massive difference to how well they play, as you're given double the frame data with which to react and half of the input lag. So while you still need to get good to defeat the monsters, at least you won't be fighting against a crappy frame rate as well. Demon's Souls is coming out along with the launch of the PlayStation 5 on November 12th.
My fellow Americans, a nuclear conflict could well be mankind's last. We want to make this a more peaceful world.
5 days ago, we acquired intel. The Soviet agent Perseus is in play. If he's active, something big is gonna happen. Something that could shift the balance of the Cold War.
The king of the basic bitch first-person shooter is coming back for another entry, this time taking place in the mid-80s with the campaign acting as a direct sequel to the original Call of Duty Black Ops. The development approach this time around is slightly different than in previous years. Call of Duty has been on a 3-year rotation for the last generation, with Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, and Treyarch tagging each other off. Sledgehammer is now out of the mix entirely, and Treyarch's last outing was multiplayer only, so this year we're getting a totally different setup. Raven Software, the developers of Quake 4, Singularity, the awesome Wolverine game, and a little Star Wars game called Jedi Outcast, are handling the campaign, and I believe they are more than up to the task. The story appears to be aiming for controversy, with even the marketing boldly using real-world Soviet defector Yuri Bezmenov's speeches to set the tone. The player character is going to be a custom avatar, but the campaign will also see the return of fan favorite Frank Woods, albeit with a new voice actor. James C. Burns, you will be missed, good sir. Treyarch is handling the multiplayer, and the Geeks and Gamers crew had a pretty good time with the beta. I'm not personally crazy about the health bars being displayed, and the time to kill is a tad long, but overall it's a fun time, and I'm honestly happy about any game which has crossplay, so I can properly represent my master race on the Geeks and Gamers Twitch streams.
Technically I'm first, since Marc's been hacking the whole fucking time.
I'm not hacking! I don't know how to hack. I keep on trying to tell everybody I'm good at video games, I'm not good at computers. That's a totally different skill set. In addition to the campaign and multiplayer, Zombies and Warzone also return, so despite the stock annual franchise bad complaints, however warranted they are at times, this year's Call of Duty is loaded with content for its sticker price. It launches on PS4, PS5, Battle.net, and all manner of Xboxes on November 13th. If basic bitch isn't your personal flavor of shooter, there is also an incredibly awesome boomer shooter entering Steam Early Access on November 10th. Full disclosure, I backed the Kickstarter for this game, so take anything I say about it with a grain of salt, but I've been playing the game through the alpha and the beta, and this game kicks ass. It sort of plays like a middle ground between the new and old Doom games, with some other modern shooter elements mixed in. The design is as old school as it comes, with the maze-like levels requiring one or more colored keys to track down, and more than a few demons to slay. However, there's also reloading and you can aim down sights. The blood and gore system in this game is incredible too, with copious amounts of viscera just painting the walls as you rip and tear until it's done. The game also features a map editor and a soundtrack by Andrew Hulshult, who recently lent his talents to Doom Eternal's DLC. Also, you're listening to him right now. No word on when 1.0 will launch proper, but after months of the alpha and closed beta, this awesome game is finally opening to all of you men of culture who like your shooters fast, bloody, and retro style. As much as I am a pretty big weeb, Berserk is the greatest thing ever. I really have no idea about Kingdom Hearts, like I don't know anything about it, so I'm gonna let Lethal Lightning handle this one.
Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory is the 14th installment in the Kingdom Hearts franchise, and Kingdom Hearts is my personal favorite video game franchise of all time. I absolutely love it. The contradictions, the bad parts, everything in all of it. I love it all. Even that terrible Little Mermaid world in Kingdom Hearts 2. Melody of Memory is basically just a rhyme action game. Now, for those of you unaware what that is, essentially your character moves down the track by themselves and you press whatever button it tells you to when it's time to do it. If you fail to press the button, or you press it at the incorrect time, or press the wrong button, your character will receive damage to their health. And if you run out of health before you make it to the end of the track, that's it, game over, you gotta do the track again from scratch. Now what makes this so appealing to Kingdom Hearts fans is that each track will be accompanied by one song from the Kingdom Hearts franchise. And to us Kingdom Hearts fans, one of the most beloved things about the entire franchise is the music itself. So that's gonna be really cool for us fans. Now this is actually gonna have a story mode to it, and it's gonna be retelling the previous 13 games, otherwise known as the Darkseeker Saga. Yeah, there is a lot going on in this franchise. It's also going to have some story elements post the previous game, so that is going to be worth looking into for Kingdom Hearts fans. However, in all honesty, if you're not a Kingdom Hearts fan, there's not really a reason I can recommend this unless you're really into action rhyme games. There's going to be a lot of characters to play through. Of course, there's going to be Sora. Kairi is going to be the main character, and my favorite blueberry mum and the ultimate waifu, Aqua, will be playable as well, so I'm really looking forward to that. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory is set to release on the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One in November 11th if you're in Japan, and for the rest of the world it'll be coming out November 13th. Alright, back to Marc.
I did have a whole segment here where I pretend to end the video but then come back with the Cyberpunk 2077 segment, but it looks like we've been hit with yet another delay on the year's most anticipated game. Condolences to all those who booked off vacation days for it like I did, but here's hoping that CD Projekt eventually launches an incredible game with lots of polish and not a mediocre game riddled with bugs. There are still plenty of great games coming out in November and 2 new consoles, but try not to go into debt this holiday season. All these games will be on sale before you know it. And if you're looking to save some money, you can probably find Quake for like $10, and Quake really holds up. You should play Quake.